if you can see my screen, please indicate. Good, good, good. That's great. So I'm going to start my slideshow. Please, is someone's mic unmuted? Please, I can hear. Please, if you joined in, mute your mic. I don't want the noise to disturb other people, okay? So please mute your mic, okay? Thank you very much. Alpha, I'm seeing you. Welcome. Okay, so I guess it's already about time. Okay, 1 minute left. Let's see. Is anybody else having any challenges? If you can't see my screen, please raise your hand. Okay, so it means so far that everybody can see my screen, right? Okay, so let's start. Welcome, guys. Cybersecurity for beginners. Let me remove this so that you won't see it disturbing you. Okay. What it is, why do we need it, how will I apply it? Now, the objectives for today. What is hacking? Who is a hacker? What is cybersecurity and cybercrime? Types of cyber attacks. Why do we need security? How to know if you've been hacked? How to identify scam websites or links? Examples of some scam websites and fake login pages. How to recover from a hack? How to prevent attacks or mitigate chances? Two-factor authentication, safe browsing tips, and the discussion session. Okay, Miriam Mohammed, I can see you. Okay, good. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting systems, networks, and programs from digital attacks. These cyber attacks are usually aimed at accessing, changing, or destroying sensitive information, extorting money from users, or interrupting normal business processes. Now, in computers, there's something called cybersecurity. What cybersecurity aims to achieve is to make sure that everybody connected to the internet will be secured. Now, why do we need it? Wow, I'm sorry, there's a power failure right now. Why do we need cybersecurity? Because when the internet began, it was just a few computers connected to the internet. Let's say probably 1,000 in computers or devices. Now, when I say computers, I mean servers, computer devices, phones, laptops, and anything, including IoT devices. IoT means Internet of Things. IoT devices are our smart devices, which we use. Oh, yes, I'm recording the session, which we use to gather information from our surrounding. So now all these devices are connected to the internet. Now, the internet is just a computer network. It's actually the largest computer network in the world. Yes, if you didn't know that, know it now. The internet is the largest. Now, it is made up of different devices and different networks, which are all interconnected for the sole purpose of sharing resources. For instance, you use Facebook, you use WhatsApp, you use YouTube, Instagram, or any other social network, or you also search information on the web. Now, when you do those things, you are actually accessing resources that are stored on other servers or other computers which are in different locations. Those computers can be in Nigeria, those computers can be in South Africa or in the US, but you are accessing them through the internet. Good. Now, when you bring computers like this and bring them all into a network for them to share resources, it raises a loophole where hackers can then monitor the data going on that network and try to intercept, modify it, and change it to any way or anything that suits them for the sole purpose of destroying sensitive information or blackmailing their victims into giving them money or something else, or just to interrupt the normal business processes. Now, for instance, let's say your company or your organization has an online portal where you log in as a staff to do your job on a normal day. And then let's say you go to work on Monday morning and you try to log in, but you cannot. What has just happened? It means that your website or your server is inaccessible. Now, what things can cause that? Well, it can just be a normal server outage, maybe caused by network failure. Maybe your organization ran out of bandwidth for the hosting provider, or probably the network, there is a problem somehow and the packets are not reaching the server, or probably your website is just down for any reason. It happens sometimes. That's why you have to employ cybersecurity experts, network defenders, and the rest to make sure that your services stay up and running at all point in time. Now, it can also be possible that there was a cyber attack on your company. What do I mean? Maybe a hacker caused a denial of service attack to make sure that nobody can be able to access your website to do the job. When I mean your website, I mean your company's website. Now, how does this happen? A denial of service attack, I've not gotten to that soon, but let me just tell you how it works. It means I am sending enough traffic to the web server to make sure that it will be flooded and it cannot attend to any other person. We'll go to that later. But cybersecurity is just the practice of implementing security protocols to protect systems, networks, or programs from digital attacks. Now, the sole aim of a cyber attack is to cause mayhem. Mayhem in the sense that either the business is rendered useless, that is, the website is down so nobody can use it, or they want to encrypt and steal the data that is being transferred on that website. More on that later. Who is a cyber attack? What is a cyber attack or a hack? And who is a hacker? Now, a cyber attack, as I said earlier, is a deliberate exploitation of computer systems, technology-dependent enterprises, and networks. Now, cyber attacks use malicious codes to alter computer code or logic or data. resulting in disruptive consequences that can compromise data and lead to cyber criminals such as information and identity theft. Sorry, I said cyber crimes. Now, I've already explained that, so we are going to move to who is a hacker. A hacker is a person with deep understanding of computer systems and software and who uses that knowledge to subvert that technology. Now, a black hat hacker does so for stealing something valuable and or other malicious reasons. The reason why I made this last statement here is because of this training. Now, in this training, I'm going to teach you about cybersecurity and how to defend and protect your information online. Now, there are different types of hackers, but the person that is going to be, let's say, your worst nightmare or your worst enemy is the black hat hacker. Now, a hacker, as I have explained here, is someone with deep understanding of computer systems, software, and networks. The person knows how the protocols that are implemented in computer networks work, and he also knows how to bypass some of those loopholes which are existing in those networks or computer programs. So he uses them for the sole aim of stealing something. Now, we have three types of hackers. We have the black hat, we have the white hat, and then the gray hat hacker. The black hat hacker is the bad one, the criminal. Is the one that wants to steal your Facebook username and password and the rest so that he can sell it and make money from it, or the person that just wants your website to not be able to work, or please, someone shouldn't, don't do that, don't disrupt the training, or someone that just wants money from you. So let's say you have some company documents on your phone and then someone hacks into your phone and steals those documents and then asks you to pay maybe 50,000 or so before he can release those documents back to you. That is a black hat hacker. Then the last one, the gray hat hacker. The gray hat hacker is actually a team of hackers who their sole aim is to hack for government or as a means of protest. There can be activists. Activists are people who only hack because they don't like what is going on, so they want to protest and end it. Now, other kinds of gray hat hacker, let's say someone did a job for you, maybe you hired him to build your company's website and then you didn't pay him completely. So what he would do is he would just go through the back end and access your website and then change some information. Maybe he can change the password so that you won't be able to log into it again since he already knows the password and all that. So the gray hat is just like a gray area where the good and bad meets. That's where gray hat hackers lie. So that's just it for this. We'll move to the next segment. Types of cyber attacks. Now we have malware, we have phishing, we have password attacks, we have distributed denial of service, we have man in the middle, we have drive-by download, we have malvertising, we have rogue software, and we have social engineering, which is the most dangerous one. Now, malware is basically a program or a software that claims to be something legitimate but actually does not do what it is intended to do. So, for example, a virus is a type of malware. It's any rogue code or software that aims to disrupt the normal operations of another software or the host computer. So, for instance, if someone sends a file to you on WhatsApp, let's say a PDF, and then you open that PDF, The PDF may contain a code that will run automatically once you open the PDF using your PDF reader, unknown to you because you won't see it. It happens on the background. Now, once you run it, it can change, maybe change your phone settings, change your wallpaper and your ringtone and the rest, because there was an app that actually did that at a point. I think last year there was an app that was being shared. It will change your wallpaper, your ringtone, and everything, even your alarm tone and the rest. It changes it. Now there are more sophisticated malwares that what they do is they're like keyloggers. A keylogger is just a software that sits in the background on your RAM waiting for you to be using your computer or your phone. It just logs in your keystrokes. That is, anything you type or anything you click on, it will just be logging it and saving it. Then once your computer or your phone has access to the internet, it will send all those things to the master server or the host, which is the attacker, the person that deployed that keylogger. Now, those are some different kinds of malware. We have ransomware, we have the virus, we have the bloatware. Bloatware can be good or bad because bloatware is actually unnecessary software which your manufacturer, your device manufacturer installs on your phone or your laptop. Then phishing. Phishing is basically an email or a website or anything or anybody claiming to be what they are not. So for instance, an example of a phish is if I create a website and name it, let's say, Facebook.biz. Now, you know the normal Facebook is facebook.com, which you all know, but mine will now be facebook.biz. And then I will create the login page and make it look exactly the same as facebook.com's login page. Now, I'll start sharing the link to people. Maybe I can say, check out this interesting post about what happened in the Big Brother Ninja house, or I can say, let's click this link to access what happened last night in presidential villa. You know, a lot of people like to know things like this. They like to know what is happening. So they will click on the link and then it will direct them to Facebook. And then because they're in a hurry, they won't check whether it is actually Facebook or not. They just enter their username and password and then click enter. Then it signs them in and redirects them to the main Facebook website. Now, I have just fished them. It's just like when you go to the river, because I used to be a fisherman growing up. So when you go to the river and you get a small hook and then you put a small fish on the hook and throw it in to catch a bigger fish. Now, that's just what happens. You have just fished, or the hacker has just fished the user, because he has actually gotten their original Facebook username and password, or email and password, and he can now use it to log in and change those details. And then the person, when the original owner of that account tries to log in, they can't log in again because their email or password has been changed. Then the account has been stolen. Now, what do these people do with those accounts? They do a lot of things. They can sell it, because I know most of you would have seen the recent trend going on that Yahoo boys buy Facebook accounts, especially foreign accounts and the rest. How do they get it? This is part of the ways that they get it, actually. I won't advise you to do it because it's not ethical. I'm only telling you for educational purposes, please, okay? Now, password attacks. A password attack is any kind of attack whose main purpose is to get the password of the victim. Now, there are different ways you can get it, starting from the most easy way, or let me say the least conspicuous way. Sorry for my use of grammar, but I didn't have any other way to explain it. Now, the least easiest way you can get a password is by looking at the user while he's typing it. You'll be able to see what he's typing. Now, I should let you guys know that I'm using a free Zoom account. So this webinar is going to last for 40 minutes. And then if I am not done by then, I will recreate it again so that we can all join and continue, okay? Good. So now, some other methods of password attacks are brute force, dictionary attack, or using keyloggers too. I told you guys what a keylogger program is. It's a program that sits in the RAM waiting for the user to enter anything into the keyboard or any input device, and then it captures it and sends it to the hacker. Now, brute force attack is basically a kind of attack where the attacker actually guesses the password using different combinations. For example, my password, not my password actually, can be admin. Now, someone wants to hack into my account. They can say, okay, let's try admin 123. They'll enter it, it shows wrong, it denies them. They say admin 12 wrong, admin 1 wrong, and then they write admin and then they gain access. Now they have just guessed my password using random phrases. Now, it can become more complicated depending on the kind of password, that is how strong your password is, and the character length. Then dictionary attack is basically a more sophisticated kind of brute force attack. It is basically a brute force attack where you use a predefined list of passwords. So now, for instance, if I want to hack into a Wi-Fi network, what I'll do is I'll create a list of passwords, store them in a text file or a CSV file. CSV means comma separated values. The file is just as the name said, comma separated values. Now, if I import those files into my password hacking program and use them to test the Wi-Fi network for any possible password, if I'm successful, I have just hacked that password using a dictionary. The dictionary, as I said before, is that predefined text or sequence of text, a text file. Now, DDoS. I told you guys about DOS before, denial of service. DDoS is basically a distributed denial of service. What this means is that, for instance, okay, let me start drawing since you guys want me to draw. There's a server here. I don't really know how to draw much. And then this is a hacker, a hacker's computer. And then we have other computers. Let's say these ones, these ones, these ones. They all have access to this one guy. Now, this hacker who wants to hack this server, he wants to make sure that nobody can access it. What he will do is this. He will hack these three computers. These three computers. Sorry, my diagrams are very bad. And then he will use the computers to hack this one server now. You understand? So instead of just one person hacking these computers, he has recruited these three people to help him hack this computer. Now, what that means is that, for instance, if he can attack, if his strength is, let's say, 1,000, if his strength is 1,000, and the other three computers are also 1,000, please mute your mics. Thank you. Now imagine what it will be. Instead of 1,000 people fighting that server, we have 4,000 people fighting that server. That means the attack will be more strong and more dangerous and also more effective. Now, the man in the middle attack, just as the name said, there is someone in the middle intercepting traffic. Now, what this does is this. Okay, so Zoom just informed me that my meeting no longer has a time limit. That's great. Thank God. So the man in the middle attack, let's say there is someone at point A who wants to transfer data, let's say send an email to someone at point B. Let me try and see if I would also get a good hand at it, at drawing. There's someone here who wants to send an email to someone here. Let me undo, let me use another color to draw. He wants to send an email to this man over here. Hmm? Now there is someone else who is down here monitoring the two of them. Now, this is the email link he's sending. You can see it sending that file to this other guy. Now, this one down here, the hacker or the attacker, let me write the hacker. He will just be here monitoring. He will just be here monitoring the both of them. Now, what he will do is this. When this guy is sending this email here, he stays here and intercepts the traffic here at this point. Now, he will break it, then analyze that traffic of what the guy is sending, then resend it back again through that same link. So now, the man at point B doesn't know that something has happened. He will just receive the normal email or attachment, but he doesn't know that something has happened. Now, how can this be bad? Let's say I was sending an email about a work document which our boss needs to one of my co-workers, my colleagues, and then a hacker who has been monitoring our company's network will sit on the network from wherever he is. He doesn't necessarily need to be in our building. When I send that email, he will get it, remove the file because emails are unprotected. He will remove the file I'm sending, replace it with something else, and package it again originally and send to that my co-worker. Let's say maybe I was sending a file about something to be done this weekend, and then he removes it and instead puts a movie or something else entirely unrelated and sends it back to that guy. That guy, which is my co-worker, my colleague, he would think that I am the one who sent that. Meanwhile, I'm not the one who sent it. You understand? It can go from basically easy things as intercepting traffic to actually you losing your bank details. Now, this is where things get really hard, really tough. You have to listen and listen very well. If someone is intercepting the traffic between your phone and the internet, anything you are doing on your phone, they will know. Anything at all. Even if you are watching a picture on Facebook or you're watching a video, they can actually know. In the advanced class, because there will be an advanced class, I will do a demonstration on how that works. But for now, just know this. Once someone is monitoring you, they will see everything you are doing. Even if you're trying to buy something online and you enter the password, your ATM card or details, your password and all that, your CVV and those things, they will see it in plain text, they will copy it, and they will hack you. You understand? So it's really, really tough. Yeah, it's dangerous actually. Now, let's move. Drive-by download. What is a drive-by download? Let's say I was searching Google on how to how to make money online in Nigeria. Good. It's a very good question, very interesting question. I'm very sure that many of you in this class will actually be looking for answers to that question. That's the reason why you decided to become a cybersecurity expert. Well, let's continue. Now, You go on Google, you search how to be a billionaire, how to make money online in Nigeria. Now, I am watching you, or I am monitoring a website, and then you visit that website. All of a sudden, you see a pop-up on your screen. I don't know if you guys have seen that before. You see a pop-up like an ad. Install this app and make $1,000 a day. And you'll be like, how? Is this real? Is this really correct? Are you for real? And then you click and install the app. Now, unknown to you, you have just installed a virus. Yes, I'm really serious. So now, the drive-by download is actually a misleading content, where it's an attack where if the user is looking for something, you decide to throw in something else into his screen for him to download. If they fall for it and download it, you have claimed access to their machine. When I talk about machine, I actually mean your laptop or your desktop, your phone or whatever. Now, malvertising. Malvertising is basically malware advertising. I've told you guys what a malware is, so you will know that malvertising. Hello, can anybody hear me? Please, if you're hearing me, wave, okay? Or if you cannot hear me, just wave. Please, if you cannot hear me, just wave. Okay, nobody is waving, so I guess you're hearing me now. Okay. So now, malvertising, as I was saying, it means advertising a malware. Just like that ad that popped up on your screen, say, download this now. Your computer has virus, and I'm going to help you now if you just download this, or if you just click on this link, and then you clicked on it, and the next thing, your screen goes blank. You can't use your computer again, or your computer suddenly hangs. Then you know you've been hacked. You've downloaded a malware. So that process of the hacker or whoever is behind that malware advertising it on the internet for people to download it, that is malvertising. It can also be in another form. Let's say you downloaded Opera Mini. I don't like using Opera Mini, but I mean, you're free to use whatever browser you feel you are comfortable with. But personally, I don't like using Opera Mini. Why? Because when you are installing Opera Mini, they will show you other programs. Do you want to install Avast antivirus? Do you want to install this one cleaner, CC cleaner? Do you want to install this one or the other one? Sometimes they may not even show you those things. You just click next, 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 and then you've installed Opera Mini. And when you open it, you're seeing entirely different things popping up on your screen. Even your desktop is filled with some programs which you don't know. Now, what they did is they repackaged this Opera Mini and added the other files which I've also installed with it. So it is another form of malvertising too. They have packaged malware in together with another software. It's basically called a Trojan horse. A Trojan horse is a software that does not do what is intended to do. It's something that masks as another thing. Let's say you want to download a game and instead you download a program that once you open it, your computer goes off. So that's a Trojan horse. Now, rogue software, also known as rogue security software. Now, what does it mean? It is basically a program or a software that claims to be an antivirus software, but when you install it, it becomes a virus. You can see this screen, this picture on your screen of this virus written boldly, and the computer screen is broken. Yes, those are part of the things that could happen when you install a rogue software. A rogue software can be, yes, let me give you a typical example. I've experienced this before. I actually installed when I was using Windows. As you can see, I'm not using Windows right now. I'll show you very soon. I'm using Linux. When I was using Windows, I wanted to install free antivirus, Avast. I went to the internet, searched how to install Avast or Avast EXE, clicked to download it from a website. Immediately I installed it. Oh my Jesus. Connected my computer to the internet. I couldn't rest again. You will see pop up. Sometimes you see one big picture, it will fill your screen. You can't even exit it, you can't close it. There's no way to escape it. It will start showing, and then before you know it, your screen, your computer is just going haywire. It's broken. You've installed a virus. Yes. Now that is this antivirus program because you downloaded an antivirus, but it has in turn come with viruses. Now, another typical example is this. You know, there are some antivirus softwares that you install that make your computer to hang. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it before. Well, sometimes it may be genuine because there are some antiviruses that when they are scanning your computer, because they scan your hard disk and your RAM, when they are scanning, they tend to use a lot of CPU power. So it will make your computer slow in response to other activities. But those are types of rogue softwares. Now, social engineering, which is the last and most dangerous one, is where the hacker comes to you claiming to be a friend or claiming to be friendly and gets to be familiar with you and starts asking questions. Now, you may think that he has genuine intentions, but unknown to you, he's just after your data. So when he gets close to you and gets those questions and all those things, he has now studied you and known about you. What they do is they attack you. For example, let me use the popular one we can actually all relate to: romance scams. What the Yahoo boys do, they create an account claiming to be someone, let's say a white girl or so, get close to their victim, chat with them online, gets to know their social security number. That is, if they are staying in the US. Now, with that social security number, you can get access to other details like date of birth, including the year, occupation, and stuff like that. They can know all these things, and when they know those things, they can use it to shop online, pretending to be you. Yes. So social engineering essentially is just when the hacker comes face to face or one on one or generates a direct communication with the victim and gets to be familiar with them so that they can actually steal or get that detail from the victim. Sometimes they can create a sense of urgency. Let's say I call you now on the phone and I'm panting and I'm like, bro, I'm in trouble, I need help. Please tell me your ATM PIN. Once you create a sense of urgency, the human brain automatically stops reasoning. Yes, it works 9 out of 10 times. The human brain stops reasoning. So the person will just tell you that password, unknown to you, unknown to them that they have even said that, because there is a sense of urgency. You understand? Now, why do we need cybersecurity? You need cybersecurity for a lot of things, but I've just outlined some of them here for the sake of space. One, to secure yourself. Everybody wants to be safe online. I mean, being hacked is a bad thing. You can lose everything, all your data, your files, your hard-earned money. You can lose everything in just seconds if you have been attacked. And then to help businesses innovate securely. Now, the reason why I put this is because companies need to be secure. If companies are not secured, if their networks are not secured, then they cannot generate any new products, they cannot innovate. Why? Because there will be that fear that someone can easily steal their idea while they are still developing it, and then go ahead and implement it as their own before the company even finishes development. I don't know if you understand. Okay, let me explain. Let's say, for instance, like the coronavirus pandemic going on right now, recently the US was accusing Russia of stealing research informations, of hacking into the US data science laboratories and the rest to steal research information about a possible vaccine. Now, let me just give you something to think about while this is going on. I'm not in any way insinuating that anybody hacked anybody. Please, this is just for educational purposes, okay? But this is just for educational purposes. Now, think about it this way. Russia now goes ahead to develop a vaccine before before USA develops the vaccine. Could it be that the data they got to develop that vaccine was originally in the USA, and they actually hacked in and stole it and then implemented it before the US? Now, I'm not in any way saying that this is what happened, but I'm just giving you a typical scenario of how cyber attacks can affect businesses and innovations. Now, thirdly, is to mitigate losses that will be incurred in a data breach. What is a data breach? Just as I've said and explained to you guys, a data breach is essentially an attack that aims at stealing data from either a user or an organization. An organization can be an NGO, a company, a school, a government, or anything, anybody, you understand? So now, to mitigate those losses, what do I mean? What I mean is this. For instance, let's say if the Central Bank of Nigeria were to be hacked, on a normal, if there's no security, there's no cyber security, no password or anything on any of their servers. No, let me not use the Central Bank. Let me say Access Bank. If Access Bank is to be hacked, now what that means is the attackers will get all the details about Access Bank staff, and about the users, people that have accounts in Access Bank. They will get their BVN, they will get their card details, they will get their account details, they will get anything that has to relate them with Access Bank. Date of birth, you can just name anything, even their pictures, even their phone numbers, their house addresses, whatever, they'll be able to get it. But now, when cybersecurity is implemented in Access Bank as it is right now, if anybody is in any way able to hack into Access Bank, you won't be able to get as much data depending on how deep the attack goes. Let's say you hack into Access Bank. Now, it won't just be a general hack into Access Bank. It will be something more constructive. Maybe let's say you hack Access Bank ATM. Now, the ATM won't be all the ATMs. It will be maybe in a specific branch, in a specific location. Now, it can just be one ATM, or if there are two ATMs there, you manage to hack the two of them. Now, every other detail that is not stored on that ATM won't be attacked. It won't be threatened. Why? Because one of the implementations of cybersecurity is network segmentation. It's an advanced term, but let me give you a brief overview. Network segmentation aims to divide the networks into different smaller segments or smaller sectors, so that each one of them is independent of the others. You understand? So what I mean is this: that ATM now, the ATM network in that branch, in that bank branch, the ATM network is different from the POS network. The ATM network is also different from the network inside the bank, the one that the bank staff use to transact business. Now, that same ATM network is still different from the Wi-Fi network that will be probably present in that branch. Now, that one will still be different from Access Bank's central network, which they use to communicate with all the branches. So if you're hacking into that ATM network, you can only access what is stored in the ATM at that particular time. Do you understand now? If you don't understand, you can, I believe you guys are writing down points and the rest, so that, because at the end of the discussion, at the end of this, there will be a discussion sessions where you can ask questions and I'll also answer you. So let's move to the next one. How to know if you've been hacked. Now, have you ever been hacked before? If you've been hacked, please signify by waving your hand. Just wave. And nobody has been hacked before. Wow, you guys are strong, bro. You can just wave or just raise your hand. Ah, you guys are strong, bro. None of you has been hacked before. Wow. I didn't know I had strong men here. Oh. You people are bosses. Maybe someone will teach me some of your tricks. Okay, I'm just joking. Now, if you've ever been hacked, you would know that it is a very, very sad thing. One of the saddest things that can happen to you is logging in, trying to log into your Facebook account, and they tell you wrong password. And you're like, no, I don't forget my passwords. Oh, okay, I've seen you. You've been hacked. I really can't pronounce that name, but I'm really sorry. Okay, so now there was something that happened to me. My friend here, Daniel, I believe he can still remember, even if he has forgotten. I'll remind him. There was an evening, I was just on WhatsApp chatting and viewing statuses. And the next thing, I got a text from Daniel. Did you just change your profile picture to that of a white man and your name also? I was like, me? How? I don't even go to Facebook that much. He said, just check. I said, okay, give me a minute. Immediately, I went to Facebook. I saw it had been changed. I said, from where? How? Okay. What I did was, I had enabled two-factor authentication previously, but somehow it was disabled. So I enabled it again, changed my password, changed my email, changed my details and the rest, and then enabled it again and enabled other forms of security and regained my account instantly. It took me less than 5 minutes to do that. Yeah, because I am cyber security inclined. I have the knowledge, you understand. But there are a lot of people in the world today, in Nigeria, who don't know these things. So when they log into their Facebook and they see, oh, it has been changed, they can't access it, they panic. And then they can't even remember their password, or probably the email address they used or the phone number they used had been lost, misplaced. They don't know where it is or how to access it. So the account is gone, claimed. It's very sad, and that's part of the reasons why social media account theft will not go away in a long time. That's why I'm holding this training, to educate you guys about this, so that you can know what it is and how to defend yourself from it. Now, how to know if you've been hacked? New strange programs. You just this one is for computers. You turn on your computer and you see new programs installed. Let's say you installed Opera Mini. I like using Opera Mini because that's one of the programs which I have seen that usually come with a lot of these backdoors and malware. Another one is Adobe Flash Player. Yeah, especially for Internet Explorer. Now that's by the way. So you see new strange programs which you know you didn't install, and you know probably you don't share your computer with people. So you know that someone didn't install that. So it raises a red flag for you to be watchful that you might have been hacked. Your computer starts lagging. Another word for lagging is hanging or freezing. Let's say your computer is normally fast when you're browsing and playing music, but all of a sudden you're just trying to open one document in Microsoft Word and it is taking your computer 20 minutes. It's loading. You know how annoying Windows and these things can be. It raises a red flag. Your computer might have been hacked. Now, your online account is inaccessible. Now, this is one of the most interesting ones and the ones that really hits a lot of red flags, because online accounts are usually the ones that are mostly susceptible to hacks. Facebook account, Instagram account, Twitter account, WhatsApp, and the rest. The person will claim your account and start sending broadcast messages. Invest 20,000 and get 1 million naira in 30 minutes. Very funny. Okay, now your password has been changed. Let's say you try to log into any account online, maybe your bank or whatever, and you notice that it is showing you password wrong or incorrect password, or it may even be your Wi-Fi password. You notice it has been changed. You can't connect to it again. That means you may have been hacked. Yeah, go and check. Emails about strange activities. Now, many of us know we have email address. All of us here, I believe, have email addresses. I'll be surprised if you don't have, because I'll actually go and check with Zoom as per how you gained access to this meeting without an email address. I'm just joking. Okay, so now you all know that once in a while, when you check your spam folder, you see some emails there. How to be a millionaire in 10 days, free business opportunity, totally legal, free way to go to China or to go to Canada, or maybe you just Googled on Google, maybe you just searched, maybe you search to buy something, and then the next thing they are showing you get this for free, no cost at all, and in your email, and it's in your spam email. It should raise a red flag that you have probably been hacked. Or let's say it is not a spam, you see it in your primary email, your password has been changed. You know, if you log into Facebook, if you have multi-factor authentication, if someone logs in to your Gmail account, or if you log into your Gmail account, you see a new email that's there has been an unusual activity on your account. Someone logged in from a strange IP address or something like that. So once you start receiving emails like that and you know you didn't do those things, it should raise a red flag for you that you might have probably been hacked or someone is trying to hack into your account. So what you should do at that point in time is to become a cybersecurity expert, which you will be by the end of this training, and then secure your account. There are steps and procedures which you can take to do those. Now, you another way to know if you've been hacked is maybe you see posts on your social media accounts which you didn't make. I told you guys about my Facebook account. The person changed my name and also changed my profile picture then, and I didn't do that. So I just know that I have been hacked, or someone else like Daniel who informed me knew that I may have been hacked, and then he called me to go check it out. Now, your network usage. Maybe when on a normal, if you're browsing, you buy 5 gig and it lasts you for 5 days. And then you notice that if you buy 5 gig, it now lasts you for 2 days. It raises a red flag. What are you doing online? You check. Are you really streaming? Are you on Netflix 247? Are you downloading files as large as they can be? Or are you posting so many things, uploading documents and the rest? If you're not doing anything that amounts to such bandwidth being used in short periods, then you should check. You may have probably been hacked. More on that later. Now, how to identify scam websites or links. Let's say a friend, an old friend who you've not heard from in a very long time, sent you a link. Airtel, say this is from Airtel to get free 50 gig. I'm seeing someone smiling right now because he has actually been sending that sometimes. I don't know. That's actually a phishing scam. It's a scam. It doesn't work at all. It never worked and never will work because they don't just give out things like that. Internet is still very expensive in Nigeria, so they don't give out 30 gig just like that, even 10 gig. Now, when someone sends you a link, HTTPS or whatever, maybe someone sends you a link to go to, which website will I use now? Facebook.com. Now, when you enter that link, what it is showing you is HTTP fakebook.com. Can you see this? Let's analyze this link. We'll use it for our basis of, we'll use it to explain everything we are going to do. Okay, now you see HTTP slash column slash slash fakebook.com. Someone sends you this link that you should check out this new Mark comedy or new MC Macaroni video. Very funny. Okay. Now, this link may look, I mean, at first glance, you think it's Facebook, right? But when you take a more analytical look at it, you're going to see that it claims to be Facebook, but Facebook doesn't have any K in the spelling. So one, it is fake. So make sure the link is spelled correctly. Now, the second tip, check for HTTPS :// at the beginning of the link. Now you can see these two here. This is HTTPS. Let me write another link so that we can compare the two of them. Okay, this one I'll put it in red. HTTPS / facebook.com. Now, these two links, let us compare them. You see, this one has S at the end and this one doesn't have S. Now, that's one of the differences. The second one is the C, FACE. This other one is FAKE. Now, you see, the reason why you have to check whether the link has S or not is because that S actually stands for SSL. SSL is a security protocol. What it means is secure sockets layer. Now, what SSL does is this. SSL makes sure that whatever you are sending from your computer, which is the client computer, your computer can be your phone, as I said earlier, your phone, your laptop, your desktop, your Wi-Fi router, your IoT device. IoT are smart devices. It can be maybe if you have a smart television or a smart fridge or POS. Many of you use POS, right? Now that POS device is actually a computer, you know, right? Now, whatever, then the server computer is any other computer. There are specialized servers and other computers which can host resources for computers or other devices to request from. Now, we have the client and we have the server. Now, you are the client because you are the one looking for resources from the other computer, which is the server. So now, the S, which stands for SSL, ensures that whatever you are sending from your own computer to the other computer, is encrypted. I'm going to tell you guys about encryption as time goes. Now, that encrypted means that even if a third party, you remember I told you guys about man in the middle. So even if a third party here is to come in between this, which is you, and the server, which is the other device, to monitor that traffic you guys are sending to each other, this SSL will make sure that the person, the hacker, or that third party will not be able to decipher what you are sending. What that means is this: if, let's say, you sent an email, or let me use Facebook, since Facebook is what we are using here. You are trying to log into Facebook and someone is monitoring that connection on your network. Maybe you are browsing through Wi-Fi. Now, if your link has S at the end of the HTTP, what that means is that that person should monitor from now till next year. He will never see your password or username or anything you send to Facebook or anything you do on Facebook, as far as the link you are browsing with has this S at the end of HTTP, making it HTTPS. Do you understand? Now, on the other hand, if it is facebook.com, HTTP, no S, what that means is that it doesn't have SSL encryption. As I told you guys earlier, SSL is a security protocol that encrypts the data being sent from the client to the server. Now, any link that doesn't have HTTPS, if it is HTTP, that means it doesn't have SSL. So what that means is anything you are sending between you, which is the client, and the server is merely transported in plain text. When I mean plain text, I mean as you are seeing these things I'm writing here, Facebook, HTTPS, facebook.com, if the offer is too good to be true, all this, as it is like this, that is how it is going to send it in clear text. So all you have to do is just tap the traffic and you can read everything that is being sent. Do you understand? Now, it may seem as just a normal thing. You may not really be interested until the day that someone may be unfortunate to sit down on a network, a Wi-Fi network. Let's say maybe you went to ShopRite and then you saw free Wi-Fi. Someone sits on the Wi-Fi network monitoring you guys to see whether you will browse. And then you log in to your bank or you log into Jumia and you want to buy a new phone. And then you try to pay. And then Jumia is asking you for your username, for your bank ATM details, and then you type those things and send. Now, you have already sent it before you now thought about to check whether the link is HTTP or HTTPS. You now found out that, oh, it is HTTP. Sorry for you. You have just successfully transferred your details into a hacker's hand. The reason why I said that is because, as I said earlier, HTTP means there is no SSL. So that means there is no encryption at all between you, which is the client, and the website, which is the server. So everything you are sending is in plain text. If you typed your password 1234, the hacker will see it there as 1234. Meanwhile, if it was SSL encrypted, what you will see instead of that 1234 will be random text. Maybe you can just see WXZY question mark blah blah. You will just see random text which you cannot ever decipher. Now that is the sweet thing about encryption. Encryption replaces the main information you are sending with a random string of character. Now that random string of character can only be decrypted and constructed into the original form by the encryption algorithm. I know I'm going too deep here, but don't worry, I'll try to make things easy so that you can understand. This is just a beginner class and introductory webinar, so don't bother so much about it. In the advanced class, I will explain everything very well and we will have a more longer discussion session. Okay, now never click on links on from strangers. What that means is, if a strange number sends you a message on WhatsApp, I receive those messages a lot. They'll just send you, follow this link to get free Bitcoins or free Ethereum from Telegram. If you click on that link, anything at all can be at the other end. There can be viruses, there can be malware there can be clickjackers, there can be session hijackers, there can be cookie stealers. Cookie stealers are programs that steal your browsing data. That is your browsing history from visited websites. They can use it to do a lot of things. I'll tell you more on that later. Now, never open links from spam emails. If you're using Gmail or Yahoo Mail or any of these other popular good email website providers, email providers. Now, one of the things they do is they filter the emails that are being sent to their clients. What that means is this: they remove the ones that they detect to have spam in them. Spam is, of course, scam. You understand? They just replace the C with P because it means something that is unwanted, something that is fake, something that is not genuine. It is misleading. So never open links from spam email because you may be at risk of being hacked. That's one of the very most important tips on how to avoid and detect scam websites or links. Now, another one: if the offer is too good to be true, it is most likely false. What does this mean? Someone sends you a message or calls you and tells you, I have a job for you. It will pay you 1 million naira. All you have to do is click on a link every morning and every evening, and then you get 1 million naira in 1 week just for clicking on links. How is that possible? Just ask yourself, in Nigeria as we are right now, who will give you 1 million naira? What will you do to get 1 million naira? More on that in the discussion session anyways. Let's continue. It is bad. If it is too good to be true, it is most likely false. Okay? Some will tell you, oh, invest with us, 20,000 naira to get 100,000 naira in 2 minutes. Just run away from things like that. They are scams. Or double your money. It's a scam. Now, always check for reviews online before registering. If someone sends you a link to a website and say register on this website, they are paying, they are giving free bonuses, register on this bank and you will get free 250,000 naira. Please, I beg you, for your own sake, go to Google or wherever you search for information online and check for reviews. I'll show you how to check for reviews on products. Now, always use an ad blocker. What is an ad blocker? An ad blocker is a program or a plugin that sits on your browser and makes sure that when you are browsing, it blocks all these unwanted ads. As I said before, ads are spam. That is things you don't want. For example, would you like if, as you are browsing on Google, you suddenly see a big picture that covers your screen? Maybe you're trying to do an assignment. It just covers the screen and it's telling you how to be a millionaire or how to be strong as the strongest man in the world in 3 minutes. And then you can't exit it. You know, and even I know that is not what you want at that point in time. What you want is to get your information online and go and continue your business. Now, this ad will not go away. So what ad blockers do is they help you to avoid it. They remove it because some of these ads may silently install malware on your browser or on your computer also. Yes, there are many ways these malwares can be transported and distributed. More on that will come later. Now, always use an ad blocker if you're browsing, even on mobile. If you're using Firefox, because I love Firefox browser, it's faster than Chrome a little bit and uses way less memory than Chrome. Now, this is just my own opinion. I'm not saying you should go and download Firefox or anything, but I just love using it because it's lightweight and more secure. Firefox automatically comes with a plugin called Ghostery. Let me show you guys. Okay, this is my Firefox. Now this is Ghostery. This is the app. Ghostery. Now let's say if I visit a site, um, mm, let's just see what that brings up. Nothing found. But okay. Let me just visit YouTube. Yeah, YouTube always has ads, right? Okay, good. Now you see automatically Ghostery is showing me that one ad has been detected and blocked. Three already, you see? Total count of trackers and request modifiers. Now, these trackers and request modifiers are actually ads. They tend to gather information from your browsing data, those cookies I was telling you guys about. So they gather it, and if I don't have Ghost Theory, then they would essentially be seeing the things I'm doing. So I'll be bombarding my screen with unnecessary things. So yeah, that's just one of it. Then only invest in what you understand. Now, this is just an advice. If you're going to invest in any online platform or whatever, make sure you understand it before investing in it. Okay, this is for you to avoid being scammed. Okay, it's just an advice. Now, examples of scam websites and fake login pages. Okay, this one is going to be a practical session. Hmm? Let's see. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Oh, okay. No, that's something else. Um, okay, let me use Google to find it. Let me use Google Docs. Title. Link. HTTP. Star. Okay. Mm, uh, let's see. I'm not really getting what I want. But essentially, now I've told you guys fake login pages will contain scam, something else that is entirely misleading. Let's say if the login page is supposed to be fb.com, you may see something instead like fb.me. Now you see fb.me. When you see something like facebook.me, let me see if it's going to work. Oh, I think it's going to. Okay, they redirect. I think Facebook bought that link, so they redirected it. So that's just one of it. So avoid it. When you see something that is misleading, there is no HTTPS at the end, at the beginning, or it is not spelled correctly, or you see additional details at the end. Maybe it's not facebook.com, it is facebook.freehosting.com or something like that. Just avoid it. It's fake. Okay. So now, if you've been hacked before and you want to know how you can recover from an attack, if it happened a long time ago, I'm sorry, your chances of recovering those data may actually be slim or impossible or near impossible. But let's say someone just hacked you 5 minutes ago, hacked your computer or your server 5 minutes ago. What you do is, once you try and gain access into that account or that computer, one, reset your passwords. If it was your email that was hacked, maybe your Gmail or whatever, once you gain access back into that email, change your password and reset every other password, especially if you repeat passwords. I know many of you use one password for maybe like 3 4 websites, or even all the websites you use. You just use one generic password. Now, if one of those accounts is hacked, there's a high possibility that the hacker will also hack the rest, since they all use the same password. So when you gain back access into that one, you change the other passwords as well. Go to the other websites and change them, reset all the passwords. Now, if it is your computer that was hacked, check your computer for new programs and software you didn't install, then uninstall them. Now, when you also uninstall them, and I'll be teaching you guys much later in the advanced class how to actually clear data and make sure that you have fully uninstalled the program. Because especially if you're using Windows, after installing a software, uninstalling a software, sorry, you find out that there's still some other files that can be tied to that software. Now, this usually happens when you're suffering from a malware attack, because when you install the main program, it had already replicated itself to other areas of the system, of your computer system. So when you delete one folder, it is already in the other sides, and any of them can just reinstall it again. So I'll teach you guys in the advanced class how to clear that and make sure that you clean your system once and for all. Now, if your social media account was hacked, tell your contacts you were hacked. Maybe if it was your WhatsApp or your Facebook, you chat your friends or make posts. And my account was hacked, but I've gotten it back. Or my account had been hacked, but I'm working towards regaining it, or something like that, just to inform them that if anybody contacts them, that it is from you or it is you, that they should be careful and not trust that. Okay? Now, check your social media accounts and old posts. Like I told you guys about my Facebook experience when my Facebook account was being hacked, because the guy was still in the process, but I stopped him halfway. So now I checked and I saw when he changed my name and the new profile picture, I deleted those things. Now, check your emails. Another reason why you should check your email is because 9 out of 10 times, your other social media accounts or your banking accounts and the rest are usually connected to your email. So if anything is going on any of these accounts, you will receive the updates from your email. Do you understand? Now, check your firewall or antivirus. If you have a firewall, either an application firewall or a hardware firewall or a network firewall, check it. Okay, why I say you should check it is because it can contain logs about what really happened and where the hack came from, and it can help you to know what has happened and how you can correct it. Now that is more advanced, it's for network security, but it's still very useful. It's one of the best ways. It can really simplify your job after an attack has happened. Okay, check your firewall or antivirus. They will be able to help you determine what had happened and how you can recover from it. And you can also, you from the firewall logs and all those other data, you will know which other areas to secure. You understand? Now, the last one but not the least, verify your online details. What I mean is this: let's say your Facebook account was hacked. Now, after you've regained access to the account and all that, go back and check your profile, check your posts, check other accounts that are tied with your Facebook account, to make sure that anything that you know you did not put that is currently present there, you remove it. You understand? This can save you a lot of money actually. Yes, it can save you from a lot of trouble. You know, there are some cases where someone's SIM card may be stolen and then used to kidnap someone. They kidnap someone and use that stolen SIM card to call the victim's family or so to demand ransom. And at the end of the day, when the armed forces, the policemen, when they investigate and then they get to the owner of that phone number, they can track it back to you and get your address, and then you will go in for it. You will have to be tried and prosecuted for a criminal offense, kidnapping. Yes, because it is your SIM card that was used to do it. So it takes only the grace of God and you getting a good lawyer and vindicating yourself from that particular crime. You understand? So that's why I say you should always verify your online details, okay? And stay safe online. Then another extra tip, which I didn't put here, but I want to tell you guys is this. Before you post anything, check twice. Make sure you are very sure that what you are posting there will not be detrimental to your safety, your security, or your health, either physical health or mental health. This is why. Let's say you were feeling, maybe you were at a party and dancing and the rest during the weekend, and then you mistakenly took some photos. Now, those photos may be inappropriate, but while you were in the moment, you now upload those things online to your maybe Instagram or your Facebook or your WhatsApp or wherever. Now, you are in the moment, so you won't really feel what has happened. But much later, maybe let's say the following day, when the hangover must have passed, the sudden realization of what you had done the previous day sets in. And if you have posted inappropriate photos, you begin to feel guilty or ashamed. You understand? So that's why I say you should make sure, because it can ruin you. We know a lot of people these days who their careers have gone from top to bottom because they were accused of rape, whether it was wrong accusation or rightful accusation or whatever, a prank or whatever. It's very damaging. The impact is something else. You understand? So you should make sure that whatever information is going online about you, it should be well understood, well read and transcribed, and it should be something that will not be detrimental to your existence in this world. Okay? Because a lot of things can go wrong. And also, be very careful of what you say online, please, because as far as it is in the internet, even if you delete it, There are people that just wait for people to post things and then they just screenshot it and keep. As far as it had been on the internet, you can never delete it. Nothing is lost on the internet. Someday, sometime, somehow, someone will bring it up. Okay? So please, you guys should be safe online. Okay? Now, how to prevent future attacks or mitigate chances? I know a lot of you have been looking forward to this. Now, use a trusted antivirus and anti-malware program. The reason why I say this is because the antivirus monitors everything that is going on in your computer, and it can detect when something fraudulent is happening and destroy it. Either it alerts you before taking those actions, or it takes those actions and sends you the results. Now, that's why I say you should use trusted antivirus and anti-malware program. The antivirus sometimes can be different from anti-malware. The antivirus may just monitor programs that you want to install or something like that for viruses. But the anti-malware goes an extra step further. It actually protects your storage devices, your RAM and your CPU, and the CPU is the processor. I hope you know. The CPU is not that big carton. No, that's the system unit. The system unit houses the whole computer hardware compartment. But the CPU is the processor. It's smaller, it's a chip that is like the brain of the computer that processes everything going on in the computer. Okay, so it's how it resides in your CPU to make sure that malware does not run on that computer. In the advanced class, I'll tell you guys some deep things about malware. I'll be exposing you to the meltdown and spectral virus. It came out last 2 years. The meltdown, let me just give you a brief overview. The meltdown and spectral viruses basically attacks the processing unit, the central processors of Intel and AMD chips. Yes, the CPU, not just the computer, not just the OS. It attacks the hardware, and that's way more devastating because you can gain total access and control of everything, including the OS. Now, only visit links with HTTPS at the beginning. I've told you guys that before. You can't afford to sleep on this, especially if you are doing any online transaction, banking or whatever. Now, be careful when visiting shortened links. I gave you guys some links. I'm sure you may have clicked on bit.ly/JeffPounds to contact me on WhatsApp, or bit.ly/poundcyber to register on my email list. Now, those link shorteners actually do a lot of good, but at the same time can be used to do a lot of harm. In the advanced class, I'll be doing some demonstrations of actual attacks, actual hacks for educational purposes. And you'll be seeing how these link shorteners can be used to cause damage. You understand? So be careful when you're visiting shortened links. They can make you and they can also ruin you. And I'll also give you some tips on how to test a shortened link safely. Now, don't open strange emails or documents. As I told you guys before, emails are unprotected. There's no, the email runs on SNMP protocol. SNMP means SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. The SMTP protocol, because the computer is a network and all network communications use protocols. Protocols are a set of rules on how to carry out activities, a task. For instance, if you want to brush your teeth, you know that you have to get your toothbrush, get the toothpaste or the mouthwash, and then you have to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush and hold it in your hand and then brush your teeth. Now, these are all steps, but protocols are not made up of physical steps. They are made up of logical steps. Logical steps are steps that you cannot carry out physically. They are carried out on the computer. So the protocol is a set of rules on how to carry out a task on the computer. Now, the SMTP protocol is the protocol for sending emails or any kind of mail electronically. Now, that protocol doesn't have any kind of security at all. That's why email is sent in plain text. Though I'll tell you guys some implementations on how they encrypt email and add other forms of security to it. But basically, emails are unprotected. So don't open strange emails or documents because you don't know what is embedded in those emails. Okay? Now, never send your personal details to any third party or representative. Someone calls you that he is from Google, he's one of their cybersecurity engineers. And because you've heard of cybersecurity, you are excited. You say, wow, yeah, I'm also into cybersecurity too. And they say, ah, that's fantastic. I need your Gmail password because we are working on something on Google here and we need to access your account and secure it more. Then you, unsuspecting, you don't know what is going on, you send your email password. You may feel happy until 30 minutes later you decide to check your email and you find out that you have been hacked. You can't access it. Yeah, that's how it happens sometimes. So never send your personal details, your card, ATM card pin. Personally, even my mom doesn't know my ATM pin number. Yes, that's how personal it should be. Never send any of your personal details, date of birth, or anything to any third party. Or maybe you are doing something at the bank and you can't go to the bank that day, so you give the details to somebody to help you submit. That's very bad. It's very wrong. A lot of people have been scammed through that way, and many people still fall for that, which is very sad and very bad. It's part of the reasons why I decided to educate people about cybersecurity, because it's very sad listening to some of these things happening. Now, back up your files regularly. What am I saying? Today, while downloading a few files and trying to reorganize my computer and prepare for the webinar and also recording the webinar, I discovered that my storage was filled. So what did I do? I brought out my hard drive. I have several. So I brought out the hard drive and then plugged it to my computer and backed up my file. Now what I did was this. That backup creates a separate copy of that file. So if in any event my laptop goes bad or it is stolen or anything, as far as I have backed up that file to my hard drive, it is protected. I can reaccess it. This is my hard drive, okay? I don't know if you can see it. This is it. So now, there are different colors and different types of hard drives. And you can also back up to the cloud online too, which is one of the safest depending on which provider you use. More on that will come in the advanced class. So back up your files regularly so that if anything should happen, maybe your phone got stolen or something, you won't come and start crying that, oh, my documents, my certificates, my contacts, all the rest. If they are backed up, you can easily get them back. Let me give you a typical example of how bad this can be. About 3 years ago, yeah, I think 3 years ago, the internet broke down. What I mean is the internet went down, like offline. How did this happen? There was one line of code which was written by somebody, a programmer, which holds the secret, the reason to why many of these websites can be accessed online. Now, the guy was angry that he wrote that code for free and hosted it on the internet, and websites and other people were using it, and those websites were charging money. Like, for example, Netflix will charge you to log in and access the Netflix to watch movies. And Netflix was using his code for free. They didn't pay him, but they were making money off of it. The guy got angry, deleted that code. More than 80% of websites on the internet went down that day. But now, how did they fix it? In a few hours, the guys behind the internet, there's no one person behind it. They're just different organizations that merge. So what they did was there was a backup of that script. So they called that backup and re-implemented it on the internet. And immediately they brought it back, all those websites came back online. So you see why backup is good. Another typical example, a final year student was traveling, her laptop was snatched. Her project and everything was in that laptop. Now, if she did not back up that project online, she would have lost everything and have to start from scratch. But because there was a backup of that file, all she had to do was get a new laptop and download that backup and continue working. You understand? Now, two-factor authentication. I said I was going to introduce you guys to it today, and also called multi-layered security protocol. Now, if you have an account and you just use your username and password or your email and password, if that account is hacked, the hacker is going to automatically gain access to your account and do whatever they want to do. But imagine if, let's say, your Facebook, after the person guesses your username and password and gets it, he tries to log in, then Facebook now asks him, give us the 6-digit code which you sent to your phone number, which was registered on Facebook. I'm seeing somebody laughing. Well, you all know how it is. It's going to bring in another kind of difficulty to the whole thing. Now, that extra layer of security, it may seem insignificant to you, but it can save you. It has actually saved a lot of companies from collapsing due to cyber attacks. This is because after the person guesses their phone number and email correctly and tries to log in, they don't have access to the two-factor authentication program or whatever that the company was using. So because of that, they cannot actually log in to their device or to their account. So the cybersecurity protocol implemented has saved them two-factor authentication. Now, what is two-factor authentication? It is a multi-layered security protocol for verifying a user during authentication. It adds additional security to online accounts in case your email ID or password is compromised. Okay, I would have loved to do a demonstration, but for security purposes, I will not. Now, if you try to log into, let me use a typical one, WhatsApp. If you actually did two-step verification on your WhatsApp, you find out that when you are trying to reinstall WhatsApp, they will ask you for your code which you use. Now, you will have to enter that code before you can unlock your WhatsApp and enter into it. That creates an additional security layer because one of the ways they used to hack people's accounts was they will install WhatsApp on their phone, then use your phone number to sign in. Now, once they can get backup of your phone number and your WhatsApp data, they can sign in and claim your WhatsApp. Then it will sign you out. Then they will now change your email on the WhatsApp so that you cannot recover it back. It used to work, yes. But WhatsApp then added two-step verification and the rest to secure it. So two-factor authentication. I'm going to go deep into two-factor authentication in the in the advanced class, where I'll be talking about different implementation. The one using SMS authentication, using a hardware authenticator, using software authenticators, using code generators, using backup codes, using face ID, fingerprints, which is biometrics, using 3D authentication, and other kinds of authentication technologies. I'm going to go into them. Now, we are almost coming to the end of this class, sadly. After this class, we are going to have a discussion session where if you have any question or any contribution or whatever, maybe you are lost in a way, you can ask and then I'll answer you. But that will be after the presentation. Now, safe browsing tips. Don't always trust what you read online. Now, a lot of people think that because they go to Google and search for something and Google provides them with an answer, that that answer is from Google. But that is wrong. Google themselves they don't own any blog that is being posted. So when you ask a question on Google, you are basically doing a query. Like, let me say, if I type how to make money online. Now you say 35 real ways to actually make money online. Life hack. 70 ways in 2020. Let's check this one. 70 ways. Who doesn't want to make money? Genius ways. Can you imagine? Hey! So imagine now, I will see this and someone without a ICT knowledge will think that because this was posted on Google, that it is from Google. But that is wrong. It's not from Google, okay? It's just a blog on the internet that Google queries, because when you ask a question on Google, it queries those other websites to find any information that is similar to what you have posted. You understand? I'll go more into queries and show you how you can also maneuver some of these queries to get more relevant search results also. That will be in the advanced class. We'll be talking about things like Google Docs, for example. Verify the checksum of downloaded files. This is very easy. Let's say I want to download an application from Google. After downloading the application from that website, now some applications like antivirus and other security software, they actually they write something, checksum below, where they give it to you, and you can, after downloading it, you run that file which you have downloaded through a checksum verification software. An example is a hash software. Let me give you like GTK hash. This is one of those softwares. GTK hash can help you to verify checksums. Now, I'll tell you about hashing, encryption, and decryption and the rest in cybersecurity much later in the advanced class. But just know this, that if you download every file on the internet, every file existing has a checksum. Now, when you encrypt that file, that checksum value is displayed and it will never change. Now, if you make a change to that file and then run it through the checksum verification software, you'll find out that the checksum you will get will be different from the original checksum. That's one of the ways which we know whether a virus has been installed, because when you run the program and then you verify the checksum of the downloaded software with the original software, you'll be able to know if it has been altered in any way. Though there are some ways that hackers can circumvent these hashing processes and make changes to the file, and then when you verify it, you will see that it will still have the same structure. But there are also ways you can check to know if it has actually been tampered with. It's not just one way. I'll show you more of that in the advanced class. So verify the checksum of downloaded files to make sure that it has not been altered. Protect yourself against malware, spyware, and viruses. Spyware are basically malware that spy on you. For example, keyloggers, they spy on your keystrokes, whatever you type or enter, they send it to the hacker. There are some other ones which spy on your webcam or your microphone. So the hacker can be where he is and he will hack into your webcam or your camera to see what you are doing. And if at that point in time, maybe you're a woman, you're a lady, and you're not properly dressed, you're exposing some part of your body, the hacker can capture it. Yeah, he can take a screenshot and then use it to blackmail you or post it on the internet. So those are some of the dangerous side effects of spyware being on your computer. So that's why you have to be cybersecurity aware, because there are a lot of attacks, there are a lot of hacks, there are a lot of ways that could ruin you. Even if they don't ruin you today, 10 years to come, 5 years to come, maybe when you are popular or whatever, they'll come back for you. Secure your saved passwords. How can you do it? One, don't reuse passwords. I've told you guys that before. One password, one website. Don't reuse passwords. Two, use strong passwords. Very strong. A good password must, one, not be any word that can be found in the dictionary. I hope you're writing this down. One, a good password must not be a password that can be found in the dictionary. Two, it must be made up of numbers, special symbols, uppercase letters, and lowercase letters. Did you hear what I said? I said numbers, special symbols, uppercase letters, and lowercase letter. Minimum password length for a strong password is 8 characters. Now, let me tell you guys what a character is. A character is a text. For example, in this word safe browsing, S is a character, A is a character, F, E, they are all characters. A character is any printable text. You understand? So it must be made up of minimum of 8 characters. Now, update your internet browser plugins. For example, that ghost story I showed you guys, I always update it because as time goes on, hackers find vulnerabilities in these web applications. It's a web application. As time goes on, hackers crack into it and then discover how they can use it to attack you. So if you are not using the most up-to-date version, chances are that there are vulnerabilities already existing for that previous version which you are using, that old version. Like for example, the Adobe, what do they call it, Flash Player. If you're using an old Adobe Flash Player, they can actually use that Adobe Flash Player from your browser to hack your computer and control everything. They can control your mouse, they can control your files, they can copy, delete, paste files, do anything. They can own your computer. Someone can be in as far as China and own your computer through that Adobe Flash Player. Yeah, but that's for the old version. The old versions, the ones like version 9 downwards or version 10 downwards. Now, update internet browser plugins. Always, not only internet browser plugins, even your software. If you download Photoshop or anything, always make sure that your software is up to date, including your operating system. If you're using Windows, try to use the most up-to-date version of any software or program you are using, because they always work on these programs and research and find new vulnerabilities Now, when those vulnerabilities are exploited, because the cybersecurity experts are like ethical hackers, they find those vulnerabilities and find ways of stopping them. So when they stop that vulnerability, when they block it, they make a new version of that software and re-upload on the internet for you to download and use. You understand? So if you were using an older version that has those vulnerabilities which have not been patched, then chances are that someone um, can make use of those vulnerabilities, those exploits, to gain access to your system, to attack you. You understand? Now, always think before you share something. I said that when I was talking to you guys about posting things on social media. Always make sure that you are very sure of what you are posting before you post. Okay? Now, before I open the place for questions and discussions, I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to demonstrate an incident, a cybersecurity incident that happened, and I will tell you some of the ways how you can react to it. You understand? As a cybersecurity expert, because it will not be good for me to do a cybersecurity webinar and tell you about cybersecurity without telling you how to arrest threats that happen, how to react to threats. Okay? So now, let's say there is a cyber cafe in your street. Hmm? Now, that cyber cafe owner calls you that, oh, please, let me use a generic name. Let me use Nancy. Please, Nancy, I need your help. I noticed that someone hacked into one of the computers in my cyber cafe and installed a virus. Please, can you help me remove it? Now, what you do is this. The first thing you do, isolate that computer. What I mean about isolate is remove it. If it is connected to the network, remove it from that network. Now, if it was connected via Wi-Fi, all you have to do is disconnect it or turn off the Wi-Fi. Or if it is by wire, you disconnect that wire. Now, when you isolate it, what you are doing is you are cutting it off from the attacker, from the hacker. So he does not have any room to actually send more commands. You understand? So at that point, the whole operation is paused. So the first step, isolate. Then second step, analyze. You need to analyze the system to know what has happened. Okay? So now, if it was a virus, you need to check what changes were made to that computer before the virus. What kind of computer is that? Which operating system? Which version? Which kind of software? What was the person probably doing? What do they do with that computer? Now, when you monitor these things, you can now check the installed programs. You can now see the dates which those programs were installed. So you can now know if a program was installed on the same day that virus attacked the computer, then you know probably the virus came with that program which was installed. You understand? Now, secondly, after analyzing, the third thing you do is to determine the risks. They call it risk evaluation. Now, what do I mean by risk evaluation? You check, okay, there has been a virus attack on this system. What kind of things are stored in this computer that may probably have been tampered with? Let's say the woman now tells you, oh, my business files, all the files for the cyber cafe, this is the system that I used to do it. This is the system I used to calculate the staff salary for the cyber cafe. Now, those are some threats, some risks factors. Now, you have to grade those factors in a kind of scale of preference from the ones with highest priority to the ones with least priority. For example, if maybe she had her pictures, her videos, her office documents, the cyber cafe monitoring software. Now, the most important ones to her may probably be her videos or her pictures. You understand? She may not necessarily care. It depends on the kind of business owner. That's why, as a cybersecurity expert, you need to know how to talk to people and get answers from them. You understand? So you have to access those things to know what the risk is, and also organize it in a scale of preference from the one with the highest priority to the one with the least priority. Then after that, you also check for the vulnerabilities. That is, um, which kind of vulnerabilities may be present on the computer system relating to that virus. Now, after doing all those things, you then see if you can safely recover the data from that computer, maybe the pictures and the rest. If you can get them, if you can back them up, back them up. Now, after that, you begin to do the virus removal process. Now, virus removal process may be as easy as uninstalling the computer, the program that has that virus, to being as difficult as you having to flash that computer, that is to format it and reinstall a new operating system. There may also be other difficult ones, because I've faced one before where if you format the computer and install a new operating system, the new operating system you are installing will install, and then the virus will still be there. That's why I told you guys about the meltdown and spectral virus. It stays on the CPU and the BIOS. Yeah, those are very advanced ones though. So you, at the end of the day, you find out that you may just need to either replace the CPU or replace the RAM, or you replace the hard drive or something like that. You understand? So that's just it. Then after you do that, you see if you can do data more, um, other forms of data recovery too, to try and get some of the log files which you can use to do future analysis, and then you'll be able to know which loopholes had existed previously, and then be able to block those loopholes, and also prevent, that is, secure the system to prevent future breaches. Okay, so another thing about cybersecurity is cybersecurity policies usually revolve around three what do I call, three entities. We have the people, we have the policies, and then we have the processes. Now, the people has to do with the customer, the human beings involved. That is, the person that his computer was hacked, and the person, you, that is trying to fix it, and the user of that computer. You understand? So those are the people, the human beings. Then the policies are the security policies. For example, an example of a security policy can be the account on the computer has a password. So you need a password to log in. A password is a security policy. Let's say if they enabled multi-factor authentication, that is also a security policy. The third one will be, maybe before you use the computer, you have to put in your fingerprint. Like my computer is protected that way. You need my fingerprint. So if your fingerprint is not registered on the database, you can't access that computer. So that means when an attack happens, you check for the people whose fingerprints have access to that computer. Those are the people you hold first before holding any other person. That's a policy. You understand? Other policies can be, maybe, okay, if you are leaving your computer, make sure it is locked. If you want to go and drink water or something, or you want to go to the toilet, make sure you lock your computer screen. Those are policies. I'll tell you more about that and how to implement policies in organizations and help businesses draft out security policies. Then processes are the protocols put in place to ensure that the systems are secure. Now, These processes can be, let's say, if the business has a website, they buy SSL to make sure that the data being sent between the client accessing their website and their website sending data to the client is encrypted so that any third party cannot read what is going on. Another process may actually be the application that the organization is running. Let's say like your email now, it uses the simple mail transfer protocol, SMTP. That SMTP is a process because when you send an email, the SMTP has to break it down to electronic means which can be transferred to the other person, the receiver, the recipient, and then also reorganize it and bring it back as an email. You know, some of you, if you, I sent you the reminders of this webinar via email. Now, I did not carry letter because in the olden days, you have to write a letter and then send it through the post office, and then it will take some days or months before it gets there. So I didn't do that myself. I did not carry letter and then go and submit for them to bring. I just sat down here, typed the mail, and then sent, and it was delivered to you. So that is a process, you understand? And the processes are made up of protocols, you understand? So that's just it. Um, then I will tell you guys right now about the what a vulnerability is, what a threat is, and what a security risk is. Now, a vulnerability is a loophole in either a system or a network which an attacker can leverage to gain access to a resource on the system or the network. Now, a threat is an exploit or a security risk that can be used to gain access to a resource on the computer or the network. Then a risk, the risk is the actual thing. The risk is sorry. The risk is the actual threat on the computer that is posed on the data stored on the computer. For instance, let's say I have company files on my computer. Now, a vulnerability can be maybe I installed an old software which has vulnerabilities, which can be hacked or which has been hacked, and the software came with a virus. Now, the vulnerability is that virus through the loophole, is the loophole which that virus will exploit to gain access to my computer. Now, the risk is the damage that is posed to those office files on my computer. There is risk that it can be stolen, that is, the attacker can copy it and then delete my own copy. There is risk that it can be changed, they can edit it and stuff like that, or other things. So those are some of the things that I'll tell you about this. Then there is something called the information triad for protecting information via cybersecurity. We have, it's called the CIA. Let me write it. The CIA. The CIA triad. Now, what does this mean? The C stands for confidentiality. The I stands for integrity. Then the A stands for availability. Now, what does this mean? Every resource that a cybersecurity that you want to protect as a cybersecurity expert or whatever, you must consider the CIA of that resource. What do I mean? Let's say you are asked to protect a website. You must make sure that one, the Okay, let me use, yeah, I think the color is not really too good. Oh, I think the color is not too good. Can't change the color. Okay, but let me continue. Now you have to make sure that the data that is stored on that website is accurate. Confidentiality means that it is hidden, and only the persons that have access, that is verified access, the only people that has the right to access that information should have access to it. Now, integrity means that the data stored on that website must have data integrity. That means it must be correct, because if, for instance, the data stored on there is the staff details, that is details about the staff and their employment, if someone hacks into it and change someone's age, now that can have an adverse effect, because that data would not have integrity again because the age has been changed. Now, if they put an older age, maybe 65, and the organization you have to retire at 60, that means that person ought to have been retired, then they will retire him. Meanwhile, he may not be up to 65. You understand? So, confidentiality is that the right person has access to the right information. Integrity is for correctness. Then availability means that that information should be available to the correct person at any time it is requested for. So even if it is by 12 midnight that I wake up and I want to access the website to get details about my staff, I must be able to do it. Now, all cyber attacks revolve around this CIA triad: the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Let me give you an instance. The denial of service attack leverages on the availability, because it will make the website unavailable. What that means is that nobody can reach it. Can you see it now? Okay. Now, the integrity aspect, making the data lose its integrity, that means it is not correct. So, for instance, if a virus changes, or if a hacker changes the age of someone on the company's website, it makes it lose integrity, so it is not correct anymore, so you cannot use that data because it is wrong. Then the confidentiality, if the data stored on the website loses confidentiality, that means a third party who is not supposed to know that thing will now have access to it. It can cause troubles. Let's say, for instance, if the business was hiding a secret, maybe a secret formula, like Coca-Cola now, their secret formula. If it is leaked to someone else who is not in Coca-Cola, he can go and start his own business and be making those soft drinks using that secret formula. So that data on that website has lost its confidentiality. Do you understand? Okay, so now it's time for questions and discussion. Thank you for the class. Okay, before that, my advanced class. These are some of the features I'm going to be teaching you. It's going to be a 3 days class, because I don't teach on weekends. On weekends, I only do discussion sessions. If you have questions, you can ask and the rest. So the features for my advanced class, I'm going to be teaching you about firewalls, IDS, IPS, and their features. IDS means intrusion detection system. IPS means intrusion prevention system. I'm going to tell you about their similarities and their differences and what they are and how they can help you to secure yourself. For instance, I am talking to you guys right now. My network at home here is secured with a firewall. So it is only what I allow into my network that can come in. I don't know, you must have noticed that there are some places you go to browse, maybe in a cyber cafe or store, and there are some websites you cannot visit. Those websites have been blocked using the firewall. You understand? Then multi-layered authentication and its features and implementation. I'm going to teach you guys about multi-layered authentication, two-factor authentication, and the rest, and how you can actually access it and leverage it. Then I'm going to teach you about securing social media accounts. Your social media accounts, I will show you more advanced how I stopped hackers from hacking my WhatsApp, my Facebook, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my email. All my accounts right now are virtually unhackable to the highest. You understand? Though not as high as people like Donald Trump and the rest, but I have implemented all available security policies. I'm going to tell you more about security policies and which one you should use and which one you should not use. I'll be telling you those. Okay? Then networking and network security concepts. I'm going to tell you more about networking and network security. Okay? Then how to implement privacy on wireless networks. Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys all that. How to secure your Wi-Fi network to make it virtually unhackable. How to be an ethical hacker. If you want to be an ethical hacker, I'm an ethical hacker. I can teach you how to do that, how to start your journey. It's not easy. Even cybersecurity, nothing comes easy, nothing good comes easy, but it is worth it. Do you know why? Because as I said before, I'll still say it again. There are very few cybersecurity experts, less than 10% of the whole world's population knows cybersecurity. So there is a real gold mine there if you can gain access to that knowledge, if you can be an ethical hacker and defend, especially now that we have more devices being connected to the internet, self-driving cars and the rest. If you can secure these devices, it's going to be something else. Take for instance, if you are a cybersecurity expert and a bank hires you to secure their network, do you think they will pay you what they pay normal bankers? No, of course not, because the bank's entire security is their business. If the bank is not secure, they will collapse the next day. In fact, even that day. You understand? So they will pay you very handsomely so far as you can provide that security solution for them. I'm going to teach you the concept of password security, how to generate strong passwords, how to effectively manage your passwords, good password policies and practices, and also bad password policies and practices, how to help businesses stay safer online, how to help cyber cafes and the rest to easily stay safe and the rest. I'm going to show you all that. At the end of this advanced training, you will become a cybersecurity expert and also know how to market your skills. If I teach you a skill and at the end of the day, I don't teach you how you can market your skill, then what is the use? Why did I teach you that skill? It's going to be useless to you, because if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to market yourself, then you are as good as a waste, because wisdom is profitable to direct. If you have wisdom and you don't apply it, you are going to be a fool, a foolish person. So to gain knowledge to the advanced class, it's still the same way. After this training, you indicate on my WhatsApp, you send security, or you use this link bit.ly/pound cyber to get registered. It will be starting on the 20th to the 25th of August 2020. The time, don't worry, it's going to be rescheduled and it will be held in a closed group chat, in a closed group. And at the end of the training, I'm going to also give some free materials and the rest which you will use to expand. And you also have access to any other future training I am going to hold. I've been holding trainings for months now, and my students, some of them are still here. They have access. You continue because I don't stop. As far as you pay once, you gain access to all these other things. You understand? So that's just it. So thank you for staying to the end of my presentation. We have come to the end of the presentation. This is all right. So the discussion session will start now.